Hey, it's Larry Gonzales over Line Mortgage. Last week I talked about the Federal Housing Finance Agency's fees that they are introducing to second home purchasers and investment home purchasers. The fees are pretty steep, up to 4%, almost 4% fee to buy a home if it's just second home or investment home. Is that a good thing or not? I think when you look at the big picture, right now, first-time home buyers, which we have for the next several years, we are going to have a record number of first-time home buyers coming into the market because the millennial population is getting into their prime home buying years. And we have not been building enough homes for the last 12 to 13 years to even come close to meeting the demand for housing. So right now, because the rates have been so low and really homes are still affordable, first-time home buyers are having a very difficult time buying homes. And if we can give them a leg up to buy a home, then I'm all for it. All right. And I'm a guy who's bought investment. I have 2 investment homes and another investment home on the way. But I know that we need to be able to have affordable housing for first-time home buyers. And we're not going to get there if we have investors that keep going in and buying home after home after home and basically making it even more difficult for first-time home buyers. My only issue is with those fees. What are the government service entities, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, what are they going to do with all that money they're going to get? I agree with making it, improving the opportunity for first-time home buyers. We need that, all right? I don't want my kids living with me forever. Well, actually, that's not true. I love my kids. Paige, Jordan, and Ty, you can live with me forever, all right? Because I love you all so much. But I want them to have the opportunity to buy a home that I had. And it's very difficult for them to do that in the current environment. My issue becomes, what do we do with those fees, with that money that we're collecting? All right, how is that repurposed for those first-time home buyers? The government is not efficient with money. They're just not. And so that is my only issue. I'm not opposed to making it housing more affordable, not at all. But I am opposed with taking money and then not using it to actually truly have a positive impact on those first-time home buyers. So that's kind of my issue. There's just not enough inventory of homes right now, and that is not gonna change. If you look at some of my videos that I've put out in the past, over the past couple months, you'll see that the inventory is not going to improve. In Hawaii, I think inventory will improve this summer as people begin to PCS, and there's just not a lot of opportunities. There's just not a lot of opportunities for people coming to Hawaii, and people who are already in Hawaii, people from Hawaii to buy homes, and they're not building them fast enough. So you have a constant in and out of people coming in Hawaii to buy homes. Where there's just not going to be enough inventory. It'll pick up this summer, but there's already a line of people who want to buy those homes. I talk to realtors all the time, and I have clients who put in multiple offers, and let's go into that real quick. First-time home buyers in this market, it is very easy to get frustrated. All right, you might not, most likely will not, almost 100% sure you're not going to get your first offer accepted. All right, it's not personal. All right, don't give up. All right, don't give up the ship. All right, but don't give up the house. Don't give up the dream for buying a house. All right, I've had clients that's taken them 16 offers before they got the house, their home. And I remember this couple. The house they ended up getting was actually the best house of them all. So I'm a firm believer that it's going to happen if you are intentional about it, you set a goal, you're looking at long-term positive benefits of buying a home. Again, the short-term pain is going to be worth that long-term gain. Don't give up after one or two offers that don't get accepted. Know that that's part of the process. All right, it's truly going to make you appreciate that home even more. If you're looking at buying a house on the mainland, inventory is short all around. I talk to lenders all over the country. I have friends who are realtors, certainly in California, in Virginia, in Texas, and there's just not a lot of inventory. And so these fees are going to help, maybe open up some inventory, but certainly here's a problem, and it's you have people who've made so much money these last couple of years off their homes in California and really all over the country, but certainly in California, in Arizona, and in Washington and other states. They have all this money, all right, and they're coming out to Hawaii and putting all cash offers down, all right. So some of them, well, they're not going to move out to Hawaii, but they can go plunk, $135,000 down and buy a single family home in Tennessee as an investment property. They can go and buy a multiplex in many other states for a couple $100,000 down, and they're still sitting on a ton of cash to go do something else. There's a lot of money. People have a lot of money through home ownership. They didn't get that money from renting, all right? They got that money through home ownership, and now, one, they're not staying in California, all right? It's too expensive, okay? They're not staying in Washington. It's too expensive. Arizona, all right? It's getting to be too expensive, especially in Phoenix, all right? So they're taking this money and they're going someplace else. The fees are going to hurt some investors, but people who have made a ton of money through housing, through the housing market, it might be a drop in the bucket for some of them. It'll probably have the same effect here, but I think really, I don't know what's gonna. The only thing that's gonna help us is building more homes, and that's not gonna happen. We have been so far below the average. The average number of homes built the last 30 years is about 2.5 million. We haven't even been building 1 million homes a year for the past decade. All right, so we're just not going to catch up to what we need. It's just not going to happen. Builders cannot build fast enough for the homeowners. The homeowners are out there. People have money, and people are. One of the things we learned from COVID is you don't have to go in the office to work. I mean, there's still a lot of companies that keep pushing back their dates for actually having to go in the office. And I know several employees of companies I've worked remote for a year and a half now. I want to move to Hawaii and still work remote, and they've done that, and because they can. So you don't need to be in the office to do your job for many jobs in our industry. So so those are my thoughts on the FHFA fees, and then the housing market in general, the inventory issues that we're having. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm out to lunch? You can take me out to lunch. I'm cool with that. But what do you think? Whether you're a lender or a realtor or Joe Blow the home buyer, right? Or a renter, because it's important. This is going to have a big impact. And I tell you, I put this out to my sphere of influence in a couple different forums. I've got a lot of really good feedback so far. It's kind of woken some people up to oh my gosh, I want to buy another home for my daughter who's starting college. Well, I got to get on that now. So what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Let me know. All right.